I'm going to show you a quick tweak that you can do on the leg curl to make it more effective. Most people will do the leg curl like I'm doing right now. They'll kind of sit back and open up their hip angle and put their hips into what's called hip extension. And what this does is this puts them into something called shortened active insufficiency, which will prevent you from growing more muscle and increasing the amount of force that you can produce throughout the movement. So by making this small tweak, you can see I lean forward and I'm actually putting my pelvis into anterior pelvic rotation by slightly arching my back. When my legs go into full extension, I'm feeling a much deeper stretch at the hamstrings. Because the hamstrings cross both your knee and your hip joints, when you put your hips into hip extension, you're shortening that muscle group and preventing it from getting its full range of motion. So here you can see Kelsey is arching her back slightly, putting her hips into that anterior rotation, and that will allow her to reach that full range of motion as her knees extend at the very top of that leg. So now, why is it important to understand shortened active insufficiency and what it means and how it can affect your movement patterns? So first you have to understand what the length tension relationship of muscle is. So it's basically the idea that within each muscle fiber, we have these small little proteins that latch onto each other, kind of like how Velcro does. And as we contract our muscle, more of that Velcro, more of those little proteins will overlap, forming what's called a cross bridge. And that's what allows muscle contraction to withstand tension. So shortened active insufficiency is basically you have overlapped those little proteins too far to the point where you are actually getting insufficient cross bridging, which prevents you from maximizing your force production. So when you overshorten any muscle fiber or muscle group, like most people do when they're leaning back with that open hip angle on the leg curl, you're actually preventing yourself from maximizing the amount of force output that muscle group can contribute, and you're minimizing the amount of muscle growth that can occur. So by adding in this little tweak to the leg curl, you can avoid falling into shortened active insufficiency and make this movement a little bit more efficient.